So we have talked about Final Fantasy 15 coming over to the Switch, and the last time we heard about it, it was it seemed likely that the mobile version featuring a less realistic chibi form of the game was going to be the version that made it to the Nintendo Switch. We have a bit of an update on that, though. Thankfully, it looks like Square Enix is in talks with Epic, who owns the Unreal Engine, which is currently at Unreal Engine 4, where we see all these really nice, pretty games. And the Switch can run games. We've seen Doom is a game that runs on Unreal Engine 4, and that now has been announced that it's going to be ported to the Switch. The difference is it runs at 30 frames per second as opposed to 60 on the PS4 and Xbox One. So that's nice. And it looks like Square Enix is asking Epic if they can use Unreal to port Final Fantasy 15, which was developed using the Luminous engine, which is, I think this has been the engine that started with Final Fantasy 13. It's kind of been Square Enix own developed graphics engine that they've been using ever since for their mainline Final Fantasy games. So it looks like Unreal may get the game running the way they want it to on the Switch, so they would just port the game over using that engine instead, which that still sounds like a nightmare to me, and I wouldn't want that job. I have no idea how you would take one game over from one engine to another. I'm sure it's not simple. It's probably very complicated. So, what do you think of this? Do you think that the days of proprietary graphics engines are done and people should just use what works, like Unreal?
Yeah. I mean, if it's what most games are being run on nowadays, and if it looks good, then I don't understand why you shouldn't. I don't know if there was Square Enix, dead set on using the Luminous engine, or was it just it's just what they had, so they were just going with it?
Well, it's kind of weird. Like you've seen, it seems to be a thing with Japanese companies to not really rely a whole lot on Western partners. And you can see this in the days of the PlayStation 2, and the PlayStation 3 for that matter. PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 were notoriously difficult to develop for. Whereas, Xbox 360, Xbox, it's DirectX. If you can make it for a PC, you can make it for the Xbox. It's very easy to develop for. But PS2 was like assembly language to program for, and PlayStation 3 really wasn't much better because you had to program everything around the cell processor architecture. So I've just noticed that, with Sony also being a Japanese company, they're kind of like, well, we'll make our own thing, and if you want to use it, great. So Square has made games pretty much using their own tools for forever. But it's not too surprising to me that they're going with Unreal, that they may go with Unreal Engine 4, simply because that's what the Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be built using. So they got the license for that. I want to say, I think, oh yeah, they used it for Batman Arkham Knight, which I think Square Enix is the publisher for Arkham Knight, or one of the co-publishers. So yeah, they definitely have enough. They've seen what the engine can do. They're aware of it, and the fact that it can just run it, that it has Switch support, why not? I'm with you. I kind of think that, what's the point of spending years of R&D developing your own engine when there's something out there like Unreal Engine 4 that is so versatile that you can make you can make very realistic looking games, or you can make more stylized games. And the fact that it can run on a less powerful system like the Switch, go for it.
Yeah.
And I hope they go with this option, because I really, really don't want to see, like, that would just be a knock against what the Switch is capable of. It's like, oh, hey, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, here's your version of Final Fantasy 15. You like how realistic it looks like? Here's the Switch version.
And it's all chibi.
Saturday morning chibi anime style. Yay!
I hope that's exactly what happens, and I hope everyone hates it.
I hope no one buys it. If you want to play Final Fantasy 15, play either one of the two consoles or the PC version. Or if they are able to port this over to the Switch and you have a Switch, then play that version. Just stay away from the chibi version. It shouldn't even exist. Oof.